Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marcagiani. Today we're going to be talking about the top underlying reasons why you may be having a headache, a chronic headache. I had a patient come in today who had headaches for 25 years monthly, chronically, and we were able to get to the root cause. And there are many different root causes for every person. So I'm excited to kind of lay out the common ones that I find to be a major vector in my patients. Before we dive in, make sure you hit the like button, really helps the algorithm. Also put your comments down below. Let me know about your experience personally with headaches. And make sure you hit the bell notification so you get more great content coming your way. All right, guys, so headaches, right? You've had them. You kind of know what I'm talking about, head pain. You have like your migraines where you kind of have that aura, open book kind of thing, sensitive to sound. There's a couple of different major reasons why headaches may happen. First vector is going to be food allergens. Most common food allergy is going to be gluten and dairy. There's some studies on gluten affecting blood flow up to the brain. So we have these garden hoses on the side of our neck called our carotid arteries. When we have inflammation, especially caused by gluten, that can decrease blood flow, blood perfusion to the frontal cortex. When you have less blood, you're going to have decreased performance of the brain, and you can see that manifesting in a headache. People don't know, but headache's actually going to be an issue with vasodilation in the brain. And things like caffeine can actually help because caffeine actually causes constriction, and the brain typical headache signal is caused by vasodilation. That's a little Jeopardy question there for you. So first issue is going to be food allergens. Second issue is going to be food additives. These could be things like MSG. These could be things like aspartame or Splenda or various artificial colors and dyes. That's number two. Number three is blood sugar fluctuations. So we want to have healthy proteins, healthy fats with every meal. If we skip meals or we eat foods that are too high in carbohydrates and refined carbohydrates and sugar and not enough fats and proteins, our blood sugar can go like this and then drop. This is called reactive hypoglycemia. We react by putting a whole bunch of sugar in our bloodstream because all these carbohydrate sources break down into sugar. That's why we call them crapohydrates, right? Processed sugar, grains, flours, acellular carbohydrates, these type of flour, refined, processed carbs, they get converted to glucose in our bloodstream. Glucose goes up. Our pancreas goes, holy smokes, we got a lot of glucose there. We got to pull it into the cell. It spits out a whole bunch of insulin, and that insulin pulls that glucose right down, and we have his blood sugar going up. A lot of insulin up here, and then we have a lot of insulin driving that blood sugar back down. And then when that blood sugar goes back down, this is where we have cravings. This is where we have addictions and mood issues and energy issues and jitteriness and cognitive issues. And our body makes adrenaline and cortisol to bring that blood sugar back up. So most people, they literally live on this high insulin, we're making fat, we're storing fat, we're engaging in lipogenesis, which makes us tired. Then our blood sugar crashes, we're jittery, we're anxious, we're moody, and most people live on this reactive hypoglycemia roller coaster, and that can drive headaches. Number four is going to be infections. I find patients with a lot of gut inflammation, gut permeability, infections, whether it's H. pylori, whether it is a SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or fungal overgrowth. These type of gut stressors can create inflammation in the gut. When we have inflammation in the gut, we have gut permeability. So our tight junctions in our intestines start to open up, and undigested bacteria, lipopolysaccharides, food particles can slip through and create an immune response. And that immune response you can see histamine along with that immune response, and histamine can create headache issues. So gut permeability through gut infections. These gut infections drive histamine as well. Fifth reason is going to be hormonal issues. So with females, I commonly see it typically, if you see it in the cycle, so a woman's cycle is about 28 days or so. In the middle is ovulation. Some women have it during ovulation. Most have it right at the end, just before they menstruate. This is called pre-menstruation. This is PMS, pre-menstrual syndrome, right? Or pre-menstruation syndrome. So that's going to be right before you menstruate. And a lot of women may also have it during menstruation too. So what happens is progesterone can drop out early, and that drop in progesterone can actually cause headache manifestations. And also the aberrations in estrogen can also cause headaches as well. And then we may also see it with with excess of bleeding too. So if we're bleeding a lot, so you have your cycle, right? Your cycle ends, you start bleeding. If you bleed too much, what may happen is you may lose iron, and that low iron may cause oxygenation issues, and that low level of oxygen may also cause some headache issues as well. Because if you can't carry oxygen, that's going to be a stressed out situation for your mitochondria and your metabolism. So those are some big underlying reasons why. So let me kind of repeat the big five. The first one is going to be food allergens. The second one's going to be food additives, okay? Aspartame, Splenda, MSG. The third one is going to be, I think I said the third one, blood sugar. Fourth one, gut infections. And the fifth one is hormonal, primarily on the female hormone side. Usually it's going to be that drop in progesterone, which starts premenstrual issues. It could also be aberrations in estrogen at the start of the cycle. What really matters is where it typically happens during the cycle. And menopausal women, if they have chronically low hormones and they're not in an optimal place, that can create issues as well. Especially things like progesterone and estrogen. These can be very anti-inflammatory, especially progesterone. So if there's inflammation in the brain, progesterone is a powerful anti-inflammatory, and that can really help a lot of inflammation in the brain as well. All right, guys, let me see if we have any questions here. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you guys do, please click down below. If you want to schedule a consult with myself and my colleagues, I'm available worldwide. I work on and deal with these issues at a deeper root cause level every single day with patients all over the world. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you do, thumbs up, subscribe, click down below, and put your comments. Let me know your experience as well. All right, let's dive in. What kind of questions we have here? All right, excellent. What's the mechanism of headaches in the C word? I would just say inflammation. I would say anytime we have inflammation and we have decreased blood flow, there's a really, really good chance that we're going to have decreased blood flow. Anytime we have inflammation, we're going to have decreased blood flow to the brain, and that can easily manifest in a headache as well. Especially when your immune system is overactive, we can see a whole bunch of problems manifest there as well. If a diet is low carb and pretty basic, still dealing with congestion, coughing for months, what would you suggest is the next step to start getting better answers? If diet's low carb and pretty basic and still dealing with congestion, coughing, you need to see a good functional medicine doctor. So it just depends upon what you're eating, what other foods could be there. There could be other gut infections. You just need a really good functional medicine workup so you can go deeper under the hood in regards to what the root issues are. There could be infections, there could be poor digestion, all those things could be at play. What might be an immediate thing to do if you feel a migraine or headache? So if you feel a good immediate migraine or headache come on, the first thing you can do is, one, make sure you get hydrated, make sure you have some clean water, and make sure there's good electrolytes in the water. So you can go and add some potassium citrate to it. You can get some good Redmond's real salt, get some good minerals, put it in the water, get hydrated first, number one. Number two, eat a really good protein and fat-based meal, and maybe a little bit of carbs in there as well. That could be another great option. And then the third thing I would say is you could take some extra magnesium or ginger. That's an excellent way to provide extra nutrients to your bloodstream, which will help with inflammation and potentially help with the headache as well. Ginger is very anti-inflammatory, been known to help with headaches. So has feverfew and B6 and magnesium. Let me go deal with a question here on the Facebook side. Joanne writes in, salt water with some lemon juice is a cup of water helps my husband. Yep, that makes sense because you get a lot of, you get some potassium in there. You get some good minerals in there as well. That's great. I totally agree with that. A healthy 50-50, but my usually are hormone-based. Yeah, so if your headaches are hormone-based, you really got to get to the root issue, work with a good functional medicine doc. Most people, progesterone issues and or aberrations in estrogen are going to be a big issue. What's the best form of minerals? Is liquid better? It just depends. I like a good, I use a company called Albion, and Albion sources a lot of my minerals, so I buy my minerals from them. And so Albion chelates, they bind amino acids to their minerals, so you get excellent absorption. So like a magnesium dimalate or a magnesium glycinate, these minerals bound to amino acids help. And then in your diet, you should be eating organic food, which will have a lot more minerals in there because the soil is more rich and not depleted. So organic food. And then, of course, you can always drink extra celery juice, which is loaded with potassium. And then you can do a high-quality Redmond's real salt or Celtic or Himalayan sea salt, which has lots of minerals in it too. Combination of the both is great. Also, blood sugar, females stay between 80 and 90, but notice when I start fasting, if I drop as low as 71 about an hour after eating, is that good? It just depends. As long as you're not having any low blood sugar symptoms and you're not doing too much carbs where it's dropping because of a reactive hypoglycemia, and if you feel relatively good doing it, that's okay. If your height and weight is good, you may want to play around with adding a little bit more carbs in and see if you feel a little bit better. But I'm okay with that as long as you feel good. I think it's always good to test your blood sugar fasting 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Get a good baseline, get a good idea where you are when you feel good and then where you are when you don't feel good. I think it's a really good first step. Awesome, guys. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Again, top 5 causes of headaches. Hopefully you enjoyed the Q&A, and if you want to dive in deeper, feel free. And please support the channel. Thumbs up, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Share with friends and family, and comments down below. I want to know what's worked for y'all, okay? You guys have a phenomenal day. Take care, guys. Bye.